Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Caricature, and welcome back to my feline, fresh, and feminine little review show, Very Slay, where we go over each and every floor show look on the Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 6. This episode was a really interesting one to sit through because it was the first time my boyfriend has watched the episode live with me, and the Fright Feed this week was sponsored by Tammy, which was actually the app that we met on. It was kind of cute, kind of surprising. I'm just saying, like, y'all queers out there, if you're tired of Grindr, Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, all the other apps out there, Scruff, whatever, and you're looking for a nice little queer dating situation, personally, it worked for me. I mean, granted, he was my first match. And here we are 6 months later. I'm moving in with them. There's some good people on there. For anyone wondering what the purpose of this little kitty makeup is, the day that this review is coming out on YouTube on the 16th, that is technically National Feral Cat Day. I had kitty ears somewhere, I think, but I don't know where they are because of the move. So they just pretend I have little pink kitty ears on, and I'm wearing a little pink bob. I couldn't find that either. The challenge this week was to take a classic, family-friendly holiday idea, holiday character, whatever the case may be, make it horror, and then deliver a filth performance at the same time. And there were some real doozies out of this. For those new to the show, if I thought the look got the job done, met the brief, but didn't blow me away, we give it an okay. If I absolutely adored it and thought it really knocked it out of the park, we give it a slay. And if I thought I really missed the mark, and I wasn't a fan, we give it an A. And that's all in efforts to find my weekly Slay of the Day, my favorite look of the entire episode. Whichever look claims that top spot will go head to head against our current ranked Slay of the season, which is currently Anti-Heroine's Killer Doll look from episode 2. I will also be illustrating whichever look holds that Slay of the season title once we've crowned a new drag super monster. Sneak peeks of said illustration and anything else I'm working on can be found over on the Patreon, starting at the $3 tier level. You can also join the Patreon for free to catch up on episode review discussion posts, talk about production shenanigans, meddling, all of those things. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for all kinds of drag TV fashion coverage, and also maybe some like nerdy video game things and Pokemon and Let's Plays all coming to the channel very, very soon. Without further delay, let's switch over and dive into all of these Holla Slay spectacular looks. First off, we are going to start with Asia Consent, who is giving us Mother's Day here. I will say, her look, I didn't really know what she was doing at first. I think doing Mother's Day is a deep, deep cut. But my god, did she deserve the win on this challenge. The performance, disgusting. It was taboo, it was gross, it was grimy, and the look is disgusting. But it's also scary and also quite a glamorous silhouette. I think she does a really good job of mashing all three tenets together consistently. Honestly, I had no idea that she was really going for Mother's Day until I thought about it more, and it was like, what's she doing with the hanger here? Because I saw the hanger and like the pregnancy belly and all the baby doll parts all over the dress. So my brain went to, oh, Mother's Day, coat hanger abortion. Okay, maybe work, but also freaky, scary, horrifying. And then but I did not make the connection until they said in critiques, the wire hanger being like a Mommy Dearest reference. That's quite fun. That's like big brained. It's very big brained. And I was kind of gooped. I thought the silhouette of this gown was really, really great. The gown itself is like immaculately detailed and well done. It's gross, it's disgusting. I loved that the baby that she gave birth to had her signature makeup. I love this hair with the cigarette stuck all through it. She'd be a horrible, horrible mother, but she mothered the hell out of this challenge. This is a slay. Then up next we have Anti-Heroine, who did a Halloween look, which I think you're on Dragula, you kind of do Halloween stuff a lot. I would take this as an opportunity to do something different. But her dress that's covered in candy and disgusting looking, I think is a bit of a commentary on the idea of like overconsumption. The hair is disgusting, the makeup is great as always. I really did not like her throwing up. I hate watching people try to make themselves throw up on the show. I hate it so much. I think the silhouette of the gown is also not that impressive. It's just really voluminous. It's really baggy on her, but I don't think it was awful. I think it's well detailed, and she met the brief. She got the job done. So in those cases, we give this an okay. Then we have Aurora Gosmic giving us a Baby New Year. Honestly, I kind of loved this. The look itself is mostly why, because it's so ridiculous. The huge proportions, the exaggeration of everything. She really had like the baby walk down as well, which I was very here for. I loved all the ruffles throughout the whole thing. I definitely see what they were saying is like it was more high fashion baby than weird gross baby, but I think she did a good job. The giant bottle, the huge sleeves, like the baby blankets being used as the base of the material, the mixture of stuff to create the vomit all over. Like, I thought she did good, at least for her standards, because I don't really think this is something she would normally do. I do see why she was in the bottom, because she didn't go like super far out with the filth angle, but at the same time, I kind of thought she was going to be safe for it. I don't know. I think you could have justified her being safe over somebody like Majesty, to be honest, but oh well. She lived to slay another day, but this week it's just okay. Up next, we have Desiree Dick, who did Thanksgiving and gave us a chicken fisting and chicken fucking pilgrim. No, the look itself, like when we get outside of the performance, the look is awful. The hat's awful. The hair's horrible. The makeup's not great. The lash placement is incorrect, which I know I'm not one to talk about because my lash placement is almost always some degree of wonky, but it was really noticeable. And then on top of that, the outfit, it was so plain, especially compared to everyone else. It's so like crap, for lack of a better word. And then the performance itself I wasn't a fan of because it was so messy, and that level of mess has a place within Dragula, but there still needs to be a level of intention to it. And I feel like she didn't have that level of intention. It was just like chaotic mess. It was like worse Sabora. It's an A. Up next, we have Grey Matter, who gave us the Easter Bunny, and I loved this look so much. I think aesthetically, this look and Asia's were the best ones of the night. This was a real standout for me. The texturing was great, fake teeth everywhere, the carrot dick was a fun idea. I think the filth performance was very minimal for what they could have done, but I thought it was still a really successful look. I thought it was performed well. The idea of like this kind of gross killer grimy bunny is fun. I think the fabric treatment is great, and the prosthetic work, once again, is wonderful. If there's one thing that Grey is going to do, it's knock the fuck out of a creature design. So I thought this was another standout week for him. This is going to be a slay. Then up next, we have Jaharia, who gave us a birthday clown realness. I thought the idea of taking deconstructed birthday clown faces and props and all those things and making a whole look out of that is a fun idea. I liked the colors of it, and I was really interested to see this look up close because I loved it in the trailer, but getting to see the look in the full presentation here, I see why we only saw a glimpse of it because the details are really messy. And again, I think that's fine for a challenge like this, but I still expect there to be like a level of intentional to the mess, and I felt like this was just like hastily put together, applied. You can tell that this like messy style of drag is not what she does because it just did not land for me. I think safe is an appropriate place for her. I thought the performance was just kind of bland, ho-hum. She sat on a cake and then she ate the cake that she sat on. Whoop-de-doo. But it just, I don't know. It didn't really hit the mark for me entirely, but I still thought it was really solid. So I'm gonna give her an okay. Then up next we have Majesty, and I honestly completely missed Majesty's presentation during the floor show because it was like you blink and you miss it. It was gone in a second. So I totally forgot what Majesty did. I still don't quite know what Majesty's filth angle was. I think it was more like filthy in the eye of patriotism, but I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of it. I thought this like Simpsons yellow skin tone was a weird choice. I appreciated that it was all primary colors and it was more kingy, but the stilts were cool. Other than that, this look was fine. Like, the look itself, the outfit's cool. It doesn't really do much. Like, it didn't really say much of anything. So I thought it was a bit of a miss. And like I said before, I think realistically, if I was judging this, I would have swapped Aurora and Majesty and put Majesty in the bottom 3, but still saved them from extermination. Didn't land for me. Not at all. It's okay. Then we have Pi, who's doing another Baby New Year moment, but this baby is very oddly proportioned, and I think that's what adds to the horror of it, because the proportions are so unnatural. The really elongated torso, the really short stumpy legs that are just full of rolls, the weird makeup, the head shape, everything is so exaggerated and so creepy, but it works. I thought the performance was fun. and disgusting. I loved the confetti cannon bottle. I thought that was a really silly idea too. I just wasn't super blown away with the look as a whole. I think it's definitely the better of the two babies though. So it definitely warranted placing above Aurora, but I think both of them should have been safe. It's okay. Then we have Vivi the Force, who did our second Independence Day look here, giving us something that I thought was really full of social commentary, and that's the kind of horror that I really appreciate and really like. I'm not a big gore horror fan at all. I don't like jump scares, but it's that social commentary angle that I adore in horror. Like Night of the Living Dead is a wonderfully allegorical horror film. This look, I think, really makes a statement. I love the idea of this anarchist pig frying intestines on a grill in this Uncle Sam outfit. It's very 4th of July, it hits the marks. You've got the barbecue, you've got the patriotism, you've got the US iconography. It worked. Like, it all made sense, and the prosthetic work I thought was really well done. I loved that even when Vivi talked, you could still see the mouth move. It was really fucking unsettling. For me, I think on the performance level, this was up there with Asia's. I think Asia's was easily the most disgusting, and it was the most put together and horrifying look. But Vivi's look, but as Grey Matters was, I think, the second in aesthetics, I think Vivi's was the second in performance and concept. It was the next most fully evolved beyond Asia's. And I also love getting to see Vivi take that spot up in the top and finally get some like praise and accolades in this competition, because I'm really starting to enjoy them a lot. So I was excited to see them get some praise for once. And now that we have wrapped our second pair in this week, where we had two people doing basically the same point of reference, I thought it was so funny that my boyfriend, of all people, who has never watched Dragula, who didn't really get the critique last week that they shouldn't have the same ideas, and if they see people doing the same thing, they should change it in the moment. He doesn't know how the Boulets are. He doesn't know anything about the show, really, other than what I've told him in bits and pieces. And his response, I shit you not, was, oh, so it's okay for them to do the same thing, but not the contestants? You know? Which I think is very, very funny. I told him last night, I was like, that's going in the episode. Because I laughed so hard at it because it came out of nowhere. And it was honestly one of the sassiest things I think I've ever heard him say. Very funny. It gave me a good tee-hee. And then finally we have Yuri, who did Valentine's Day as a little stuffed bear with a box of chocolates that she pulled. Wait. She did this like masturbation thing and she pulled chocolates out from her box. I see you, Yuri. I see you, Miss Euphemism. I thought the idea was interesting. I thought the look was good, but beyond the look, it just didn't go anywhere for me. The performance was just kind of bland. Like, whoop-de-doo, she spread chocolate on herself. I didn't find that particularly filthy. Maybe filthy for her. But I thought the performance also was really rigid. It was really static. And I think you needed a little bit more movement throughout the whole thing. I think she realistically was the right choice to be in the bottom two with Desiree. She, like by a country mile, was ahead of Desiree in terms of aesthetics. So I think it ultimately came down to like who had the filthier performance. I think ultimately what it came down to, besides track record, is would you rather keep the person who has the filthier performance or the person who had the cleaner aesthetic, who has a more streamlined and like well thought out idea? I think concept won, rightfully so. I'm also very proud of her for doing this jump. Really proud of both of them because they don't like heights. And Yuri in particular was really, really freaked out about this. And oh darn, our little mouth of the season, Desiree, has been exterminated in a really unsatisfying death scene, smacked upside the head with a camera. It was so corny. Oh, I totally forgot to give Yuri a ranking. It's okay. And now it's time to pick my slay of the day, my favorite look out of the whole episode. And honestly, the more that I think about it, I'm going for this one off of which look of these ones do I think I can make the most interesting illustration of? And realistically, Asia's would be really cool, but it'd be really detailed and I think I would have a hard time really executing it at full capacity. Gray's I think would also be fun to draw, but my aesthetic is so outside of creature that it would be a challenge. Versus Vivi's, which is horror and it's a creature, but I honestly think I can make a really cool art piece out of it. So I think I'm gonna give my slay of the day to Vivi the Force. And now it's gonna put Vivi's look head to head against our current slay of the season, which is Anti-Heroine's Killer Doll from last week. And I think ultimately between these two, while they are both very, very strong and both incredibly well concepted looks, there is one that I think I could make an ultimately more interesting piece out of and a more like fully realized illustration. And I think that's still going to be Auntie. So she's gonna hold that top spot going into episode 4, at least for one more week. As always, again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those lovely little things. It feeds my soul. You're so close to 800 subscribers. I also had to re-record this because I recorded the full thing with background music on and didn't realize it. Here we go, round 2. It should be very streamlined and very easy to edit. And before we bid you all a farewell into National Feral Cat Day, I want to make sure that you all go out there, stay kind, stay queer, and make sure that your day is very slay.